This tank is absolutely cracked, and what's even better about the Boogie, which is the tier 6 Polish medium heavy combined tank that leads on to the 60 TP, is it's completely free. You don't have to purchase this one with gold, which makes it even better. So it's always good to showcase some of these free vehicles, which are pretty OP, when I find them along the way. So we're grinding towards the 60 TP, which is why I was playing this tank. Don't worry, I'm not trying to theoretically seal club, even if we technically are clubbing seals. But either way, this tank is what we're showcasing today, and hopefully you guys are going to enjoy this one, as this is one of the best games that I've managed to get in the Boogie, and why I think you guys are going to find this tank very, very good. And yeah, hopefully you enjoy. But if you are or have played the Boogie and you want to let me know what you think of this tank, maybe it's completely different to my opinion on this tank, yeah, let me know in the comments section down below, as your guys' support has been insane. I mean, the fact that we've got to so many subscribers is unbelievable. Your guys' support is always really, really good, and I've been working on some videos that I'm hoping to release sometime soon where you guys will enjoy it, and they are guides and gameplay, and if you have anything you want me to showcase, let me know, because you are absolutely awesome, and yeah, I can't thank you enough for allowing me to do this. But in this game, we are looking at the Boogie. Now, there is one of the key weak points of the Boogie when you're using the top gun, which is this derp gun that has the ability to fire premium, which makes it not a derp gun. But either way, wargaming, typical. This tank gets less alpha when you do that, so I mean, at least it's not the Hellcat 105, which gets more alpha when you fire premium, because balancing. But it's still very, very powerful, and that's why we're loading premium. I'm not particularly too fussed on getting the higher alpha. I want the more consistent gun, and yes, this tank does have to fire premium if you want to make it work with this gun. And even if you don't want to fire premium, you can use the smaller gun, which is actually very, very powerful as well. So just keep that in mind when you're thinking about purchasing this tank, or if you are deciding to play it. And one thing I want to note to you guys is if you are actually playing this tank, you have a fantastic result, or in any tank really, I'd highly recommend just checking out the Discord. Leave a link to the screenshot, and if you have any gameplay that you're actually interested in and you want me to actually feature it on the channel, let me know by posting a link to a uploaded YouTube video, and I will review your gameplay for you guys if you're interested, and that would be valuable to you guys to see how you guys are faring. I'm not going to say I'm going to be able to do everyone's if there's a lot of submissions or whatever, but I'm happy to showcase some of the gameplay, and we'll do some videos coming soon. Now, in this game, the Boogie, we are pushing on the hill. It's been a fairly mediocre game, 900 damage, not particularly too interesting in that regard. But at the same time, we're able to push quite easily over here. We managed to hit a blind shot on that VK, which of course we know he's there. You might as well go for the blind fire. Even if you don't hit, it doesn't matter, because we weren't going to be able to hit anyone else. Now, that shot on the Bogatyr there was actually because we aimed slightly off of the tracks of the Bogatyr. That's because the server-side reticle of this tank is actually not lined up with what you see in the game, which is why sometimes you'll be like, how did that shell miss if you suddenly flick to an opponent? It's because it takes a while for the game to catch up, or at least the internet connection to the server, to be able to kind of register that your tank has moved to a new position. Now, on a PC, for those of you that have played it, you'll know that there is also a server-side reticle, which you can actually see where the server is looking. It's a lot more juddery, but on console we don't have that option, so you have to make of the situation and understand that where you're aiming, if you suddenly flick, you'll have to wait a little tad longer to be able to actually hit where you're aiming, or you have to over-aim your shot such that you overgo past where the tank is, and then you know that the tank is actually, your round is going to come out behind where you're aiming, and that's how we managed to hit the Bogatyr. It's a really weird system, and in fact I'll probably do a guide on aiming and how to aim properly and that sort of stuff, because I see a lot of auto aims which are not necessarily bad to do. I do it all of the time, but it's in the positions and situations that a lot of people use that it makes it very, very bad. But either way, this game, that M6 had absolutely no idea. We've managed to actually hit his teammate before we dealt with him because, yeah, he was just looking in a completely wrong direction. But we then switch onto the S35CA, which is a very, very strong tank if you leave it left alive. Doesn't have a lot of hit points, which is, I mean, a limiting factor to that vehicle, and it's pretty immobile. It doesn't have the best kind of ability to be quite flexible, but it's still pretty good. Now, we are now facing off against the Bulwark. This is the medium tank, kind of heavy tank hybrid, similar to the Boogie, I guess, but probably with much better armor, that has a little bit of a better turret. And essentially, we were able to finish him off using that accuracy, which is, once again, a limiting factor of the Boogie and can be a little bit annoying to use. But either way, we finish him off for the 8th kill of this game and the Radley Walters, and there's still one tank left alive, so I make my way trundling over there. Usually I'd just be like, oh, he's going to get taken out before I get there, but I decide I'm just going to push towards him. And this gives me the opportunity to kind of discuss what the plans are for this channel. It's kind of a hybrid between looking at the Boogie, which is, as you see, very strong, but also we're going to be looking at trying to push out as many guides as possible, which is why you haven't been seeing daily uploads as much on the channel. I'm just working on building up a big library of things that I think are important to people, and at least you guys can get some use out of them, as well as actually going through and trying to make some more interesting content and just stuff that is going to be more useful to you guys, rather than the bog standard tank reviews like you're seeing here. And hopefully that will be something that you guys find useful. If it isn't, let me know straight away and I will make sure to avoid doing that, because this channel is all about you guys, and your support has been absolute crazy, and I can't thank you enough for how much support we've had. But that game right there, 4,468 damage, 2,457 base experience with 9 enemies destroyed, was the game that we wanted when we're going towards picking up the tier 7 on this game, which is yeah, gonna be quite nice, since we did use the ×5 boosts and we had a fantastic game. So there you go, Radley Walters, Reaper, Devastator, Top Gun, blah blah blah, mastery badge, no surprise, and yeah, a really good game. But let's jump into another one where we see something a little bit different, and that something different is one of the new maps that we do have on World of Tanks, which is Sevorogorsk. And as you can see, we've lost about 90 hit points off of this vehicle, and we've also got a smaller gun. And that's because this is a replay that we did prior to getting that big 100mm on this game. So we have in fact got a 90mm, I believe it has 240 alpha or 220, I wasn't quite sure, but this is a game we managed to have, and these are the two options you can really pick when it comes down to this tank. Obviously we aren't at the pinnacle stage of what the Boogie can offer, as you saw in the previous game, and that's why we're not having to fire as many APCR rounds, and why we've got more premier standard rounds even, and why we've got even a couple of HE rounds in there as well. And it's essentially a very, very decent tank when you're using this gun, and there are genuinely two options that I feel like are useful. Now we push over to here, which is of course somewhere where you can go on encounter. Looks like there's not a whole lot of opponents. As you can see, our light tank YOLO'd in. Don't know why he did that, but he has. But luckily he's spotted for me, so at least we gain a little bit of intelligence on where the enemy team are. Not that, yeah, there's that much intelligence on World of Tanks to be had, myself included. But yeah, we managed to get into this position, which is a pretty solid one at the start of the game, and is a very good one that you can actually just really sit on, because the enemy team are in the middle. Now, should I recommend that you sit on this hill all of the time? Absolutely not, because you can get countered quite easily. But since all of the enemy team are in that middle area, it just gives us so much opportunity to be able to deal that damage. And when you're reloading in about 6.4 seconds, then yeah, I can basically just poke up here. Now we're getting spotted every time. That's because the light tanks are in the middle. Hopefully they can be taken out by someone, and then we can just keep poking without getting detected. But we've done 500 damage, which is once again pretty mediocre start to the game, and you really need to take the Boogie slow, and by Boogie I mean the tank, not the dance move. But you can dance whilst you're reloading if you're that way inclined. I apologise, this is awful, but either way we managed to track the T-21. Hopefully we can keep him retracked. I'm going for the retracking shot, and he does use his repair kit. He isn't a complete bot. But we find ourselves a little Panther. I go for the shot since the aiming time is horrible anyway, and we can just basically fully aim the next one, but we do bounce, so highly recommend actually aiming all of your shells, not like this. Now we see the Panther is making a move. Looks like he's going in a pretty straight direction. He goes undetected. We're just following him with our track, and there you go, straight into the side of him blind, which is perfect and what you want to be doing in your own games as well. So if you can make sure that you do blind fire when you can blind fire, yeah, you're going to have better results. There's a surprise. But so far picked up 2,000 damage in a position that is basically just camping on a very good hill. And I think that is, something that you can note is that about this point, this hill becomes a lot less effective because the enemy team have the eastern side of the map, which means that we can't just sit here and deal damage anymore. They aren't in the middle, our team are in the middle. So we have to do something at some point to be able to get more damage. And in fact, this is a critique of this game that I think I probably had, was that, yeah, we sat here for a little bit too long, probably ended up camping as opposed to just using the position. And at this point, I probably would just move in if I was playing this again. But, you know, it is what it is. We still have a very good game regardless, but maybe we could have had a better game, and that's something you can use in your own kind of analysis of your gameplay, when instead of just instantly blaming the team for when you get taken out. Trust me, there are times when that is the case, but the vast majority of times you can go, oh, maybe I shouldn't have gone here, maybe I shouldn't have gone to the one flank with absolutely no team support and got taken out by 5 or 6 vehicles that I knew would probably be there. Yeah, you can kind of analyse your own gameplay and think, maybe that wasn't a good idea. Or maybe you think, I could have gone in, I could have got way more damage and I could have supported my team, in which way we could have maybe won a game. So it's all of these little things which change how you think about playing World of Tanks if you're interested in, you know, min-maxing how good you could possibly be in this game. Obviously, not everyone is interested in that, and you just want to play a casual game, which is a fantastic way to play the Boogie. It is a very casual tank, it's very fun, and it is very competitive, which kind of jumbles it all into a very good tank, which I think you guys will enjoy as well. So if you are enjoying the Boogie, or you have a completely different opinion on this tank, let me know in the comment section down below. As yeah, I'm not always right, and I'm sure you can get a more holistic opinion of the Boogie in that comment section if you're wondering about whether to pick it up. But in my personal opinion, yes, this tank is 100% worth spending a bit of time to grind out and get this tank in the game. Even if you're not interested in getting the 60 TP, it's good enough in itself to just get this tank, and it won't take you a whole lot of time, nor will it take you a whole lot of silver to purchase it either. Now at this point, I was thinking maybe I can get a shot on the Bulldog. I wasn't sure if the Bulldog was going to pull out, so I didn't want to push in just as he pulls out, which means I wouldn't have ended up with damage. But unfortunately the AMD, we don't support the AMD, which once again I should have done. But we push in, and yeah, hopefully we can pull off a little shot against this Churchill here, which I'm sure we can. And on the move with the smaller gun having slightly better accuracy, I believe. Not particularly any better, to be honest with you. I think it's still pretty bad, which is why I'd always recommend the Top Gun spamming premium rather than this one. But yeah, I mean, very, very good tanks either way. And we pick up 2,700 damage. There's a Panzer V4, which is always nice to see him getting clubbed as opposed to clubbing people. The one mistake he made was not just YOLOing off down to try and kill the tank destroyer, which probably would have been better for him. But either way, we finish him off, 2,780 damage, 240 assistance, taking the grand total over 3,000 combined, and a okay game, 1,400 base experience. And there you go, leading up to getting that Top Gun, which is why I wanted to show it, is that the tanks are stock sometimes, and I always neglect showing them as stock vehicles. But there you go, hopefully you did enjoy this one and saw a all-rounder nature of the Boogie. Let me know what you think, and of course let me know any video ideas that you want to see on this channel if we haven't already done them before. And yeah, if I have done them, I'll try and let you know in the comments by linking you to the video itself if I do know that there is one available. But there you go, fully upgraded, and yeah, you saw just how OP that 100mm was with this tank. But other than that, I hope you have a fantastic rest of the day. Thank you once again for all of your support, being able to get to the numbers that we're at. And yeah, I really do appreciate it and can't thank you enough. But yeah, thank you. Hopefully I'll see you in the next one. And goodbye.